Have you ever wondered how we're able to experience the world in a way that we can both understand and relate to? I know I do, so let's talk about it. Many of us already know that the brain and body work together to create 5 methods of accomplishing just this. Through touch, taste, smell, hearing, and vision. Arguably, the most important of these is vision. First, let's talk about the eye. This is the cornea. It's the outside protective cover that focuses the entry of light into the eye. Next up is the iris. This is a muscle that contracts and relaxes to control the pupil. It will ultimately control the amount of light that enters the eye. This also happens to be where your eye color comes from. The pupil is the passage that actually allows the light to enter the eye to eventually stimulate the retina. The lens is located behind the pupil, and it refracts the light once it has passed through the pupil to focus and create a clear image that will strike the retina. Now, what's all this talk about the retina? The retina is a thin layer of tissue lining the back of the eye that converts light into electrical neural signal using photoreceptive cells called rods and cones. Rods are responsible for our low light vision. However, their attention to acute details such as shape and color is little to none. They're more abundant around the outsides of the retina. The cones take care of the rest. They're responsible for color vision and visual acuity and are more abundant near the center of the retina. The vitreous body is the gel that fills the space in between the lens and the retina. And finally, the optic nerve carries the electrical neural signals from the rods and cones into the brain. So, light will travel into the eye through the pupil and will strike the retina where the rods and cones turn it into neural signal that will be carried to the brain through the optic nerve. We don't have a lot of time to talk about the neuron, but I'll give you a crash course. This is the neuron. It's what we call a single brain cell. There are many types of brain cells, but the neuron does most of the heavy lifting, so that's what I'll focus on. The neuron, when stimulated by other neurons' electrical signals, alters its chemistry to create its own electrical signal that passes through its body and will stimulate the next neuron. These guides and their signals create chains that branch throughout the entire brain and body. With vision, we'll follow the neuron chains from the optic nerve to the thalamus, the brain's relay station, then to the primary visual cortex. Within the thalamus, the retinal inputs are separated into 2 parallel streams. One carries contrast and motion, and the other carries color and fine structure. Sound familiar? Rods and cones. Our visual cortex can interpret these signals as what we actually see in front of us. From there, our conscious minds and bodies can react and respond to these messages. Understanding how we process sensory input is key in understanding our relationship to the world around us. I hope after this you never look at light in the same way